Welcome back to House of Horns. My name is Victor Corona, aka Vic, the producer, and joining me is Gilbert Manzano, who does it for Sports Illustrated. Gilbert, the Rams escaped New York with a win over the Giants 26-25. Do you just take the win and move on, or are there some concerns here for you, Gilbert?
Yeah, no, I won't even let you finish the question. There are a lot of concerns here. I get it. Some people don't like that I'm a little negative, but everything that we wanted to see them improve, they didn't do it. Couldn't close, special team problems, and downfield shots on the defense. So, yes, you needed to have the win. They got that job well done, executed, but they got lucky. And the only irony here was Mason Crosby, who was supposed to replace Lucas Habersek, missed the field goal. So that worked out for the Rams. And one more. I won't be so negative. And the 49ers clinched the number one seed, which is, ugly for Rams fans. But hey, they're playing for nothing next week. So take a breather. I will too as well. But what an ugly, ugly game with a lot of breaks for the Rams.
And this is why I was concerned about this game, Gilbert. I told you a couple weeks ago, I kept talking about it, going to New York in the East Coast. And we've seen even the Eagles lost today to the Cardinals. I mean, stuff like this happens, especially in week 17. I'm not excusing the things, the problems are still there, Gilbert, whether it's been, as you talked about, blown coverages and special teams. We continue to see the same problems. On the bright side, the offense still looks great. Kyren Williams with another 3 touchdown performance. And then you have Matthew Stafford, who threw his first interception since week 12. Which was 107 straight passes without an interception. So there are some good things to take away from this, but I'm with you, Gilbert. There's a lot of concern, especially now, as you go into, your playoff push. You still haven't clinched anything. All this does for you is it improves your chances of making the playoffs to 88%, and you're still waiting to see what happens. You need a Seattle Seahawks loss today to the Pittsburgh Steelers, or a Vikings Packers tie later on Sunday Night Football. So a lot to get into, Gilbert, here with this Rams team today.
Yeah, first of all, I know people are watching the live right now. Shout out to you guys, and we appreciate everybody being on here. And I want to see the comments. I think we chose a worm pop on with a comment right here. Yeah, I don't even want to show that comment there from the
Yeah, I
worm.
will. I
But
will.
don't be
Let me
typing.
let
I
me.
just want to say that. Drop comments. Give us your takeaways, your feedback. If you disagree with my take, or disagree with Victor, or you agree with something, or just drop whatever you want in the comments. We'd love to see the feedback.
Yeah, let me go ahead and first, AMS wants to know, did Jackson play today and what's his status for next week? As far as we knew, he had a groin issue, and then he was not active because of a personal issue. So that's all we know as of right now, Gilbert. So Joe Notebook had to play left tackle. So that was another thing, Gilbert.
Yeesh.
You're finally getting your offense back to where you need it to be, and then you have something like this happen. Not a good time, especially when you're going on the road. And here's uh, the comment by the worm that says, "Ay Dios mío, Brujovic, call the possible trap game. Glad I have a the the flavor. What is it? The free belator. There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't even pronounce that either.
Yeah, I need to work on my reading there. And then we have Mark Reber says God loves the Rams. Yes. And then one more comment here. I'm here for the therapeutic reasons. So
Yeah.
Gilbert, a lot to get into. Let me get into the engagement question, just because I do want to point out to one positive, and it has to do with Kobe Turner. He had 2.5 sacks today. That gets him up to 9. He ties the Rams rookie record for sacks with 9 with Aaron Donald, and he's in position now, Gilbert, to lead the league in sacks for this 2023 rookie class. So should Kobe Turner win the rookie defensive player of the year? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Gilbert?
That's a tough one, and I'll be honest. Like, I don't think he's gonna win it. I think still, like, part of these awards is like you got to have a big name and be popular, which is unfortunate. But I'm hesitant to say yes or no because I'm like he's been playing pretty well. He's been dominated and creating pressure in the trenches there or in the interior of the defensive line. I'll say no for right now because I feel like he won't get it. but it's a fair question to ask. And Victor, to kind of do a little segue, but yes, answer the question here if you guys want. Uh, but I just realized how chaotic this game was because I see the headline right here for the title of the video. Will Puka Nakua break the rookie receiving record? And then at one point he was stuck. He was like at 118, right, receiving yards. I'm like, oh, he's gonna break it tonight or today. And then he just got stuck there. And I know I'm not trying to harp on your words, Victor. You said it was a good day for the offense. I said it was a so-so day. After that, after Puka Nakua got stopped, like he got a little gas there. I think it was like how long was that reception?
That was an
80
80-yard catch
yard.
and run.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's a long run. I get why you got gas, but it feel like after that it was like there wasn't much offense there, and I thought he's gonna for sure break the record. So it was a very chaotic ending, and I'm not gonna harp on the offense too much. I wanted to see him, maybe give Kyren Williams a little bit of a break too, and I don't think anybody else is stepping up on the rushing attack. You mentioned the offensive line problems, but man, special teams missing the extra points too, and then the return for Gunnar Olszewski. I remember Gunnar when he went off on the Chargers against he was playing for the Patriots, and Gunnar was a pretty good special teams player. So, all this is very concerning. What are you gonna do with your kicker situation? They got lucky because they wanted to make Mason Crosby the dude, but he missed the field goal and missed an extra point attempt there. So a lot of problems, but at least it wasn't the worst day for the offense. 26 points. They're a young team on the road, and I won't even look at the opponent like, yeah, it's Tyrod Taylor and the Giants, but we mentioned trap game for a reason because young team, and this team is coached by Brian Dable.
Yeah, and that's part of the growing pains, Gilbert. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to make excuses for this team. We've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. We know what the concerns are, but that's part of having a young team. Yeah, you have Matthew Stafford, you have Cooper Kupp, you have Aaron Donald, but and outside of Ernest Jones, who's also still like in his rookie contract as well, but yeah, I mean, I think I personally was the one that was making excuses for Lucas Haversick because of the long snapper. Today,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have any excuses. You cannot miss two extra points there. And then, like you said, the cruel irony that almost happened there. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that Mason Crosby misses that 54-yard field goal, we're probably talking about what did the Rams do in letting Mason Crosby go. And so, but I also wanted to point out, I mean, the miss doesn't happen without Ernest Jones, Gilbert. I mean, he stepped up. He had 12 tackles today, and then he has that big tackle for loss on Saquon Barkley, which pushes them back. I mean, even the Giants gave this game away. I felt like some of the play calling too, right, by Brian Dable going for two. I mean, there was a lot of so you're just happy to move on. As we said, it says Escape from New York, which is a movie. I mean, at this point, you're just saying, hey, we're in Hollywood here, we're in LA. You're just happy to move on, and you take the win, and now you get ready for the 49ers because, like we said, it's week 17, and you're going to have these type of things, but the concerns are still there for this Rams team.
See, like I like to like if people are gonna call me negative, I get that. I'll take it. I'm on the more negative side here. But I'm thinking about the long term. Like, you think this team could go beat Detroit in Detroit? I don't see what's the special teams problem. You can't even get the kicker situation right. Your team is young and experienced, and yeah, Stafford has won a Super Bowl, and Cup and Donald and Kobe Turner's balling out, Ernest Jones is balling out. But if it wasn't for that robbery yesterday for Detroit Lions, like they'll be looking like a solid team. And I don't know if this Rams team could do it, but I will go to the comment where I think it was Mark right here somewhere. Mark said that they were 3-6 a month ago, and it's super exciting that we've gotten to this point where we're talking about a Lions Rams postseason scenario. I love that. I get that. I'm thinking though, big. How about you go in there upset and beat Detroit? And right now, this team has not that's the way I want to view it. I want to see how far can this team go. Can you prove it to me where you could fix special teams, where you fix the downfield secondary passing? Can you go and finish a game, close out a game. Don't have these lucky breaks here. And right now they feel like a team like, wow, they climbed out of the hole 3-6 to be in a scenario to clinch a playoff spot next week against a team that has nothing to play for, or even today. Right now, the Steelers and the Seahawks are having a nice little battle. So it could be a good day overall. But are you going to be a team that makes it in and you're happy, or a team is going to win a freaking playoff game? And that's the way I kind of view it.
Yeah, I mean, and expectations have changed. That's the problem, Gilbert. Like this is the reason. I mean, to Mark's, comment there. The problem is that the expectations have changed now. We didn't have any expectations for this team coming into the season. This was a supposed to be a gap year. Now because of what's happened, things have changed because of that. And so now you're asking, you're having to point out some of the concerns you have going into the playoffs. Now nobody expected you to win 10 games. Here you are. You're 10-8. You're on the
Nine and
brink
eight.
of making the playoffs. 9-8. Sorry, is it 9-8 or is it 10-8? I thought it was
Sorry,
no.
nine and seven. 9-7. We're
Nine
way
and
off. We're
seven.
both
Yeah,
off.
we're way off. 9-7. Sorry, but yeah. So and that's part of the expectation. Expectations have changed now, and so I've even been saying like th- uh in the NFC, the Rams are probably the only team that can match up with the 49ers. That's how much things have changed for this Rams team where
I don't
I'm
know anymore,
believing
Vic. I really
I don't
don't.
know. And this is the problem is that they play really well against good teams like the Ravens,
Yeah,
but like against, and then they seem to, play to their competition, and that's been the problem with this team. Let me get to a bunch of these comments here, Gilbert. We're going back to the worm. Said D-line has been overachieving all season, but our secondary is hot and cold, really cold sometimes, and that's
really
been the
cold
last
lately.
couple of weeks. Yeah. The worm, leave Haversick in New Jersey. Hey, at least he
Yeah,
he
man.
knows what state they're in. They're not in New York. They're
There
in
you
New
go.
Jersey. So that's on me. Gilbert Dixon says all the Rams' weakness showed up: secondary breakdowns, poor
There you
special
go.
teams, and spotty play calling.
Negative
Hey,
Gil. That should be our name,
yeah, yeah,
Tocayo.
yeah. Lucky to be alive, Gilbert Dixon, and says,
But
and
not
then we
super
had
negative. There you go.
yeah, Mike Malik. You want to see the Rams get better each game. This seems like three-step backwards.
There you
Yeah,
go,
I
Mike.
mean, look, and I'm glad that our viewers and listeners are being, are being truthful. Like we're not trying to sell you on anything here. We're not. I will point out some of the positives, and you're not just pointing out the negatives, Gilbert. That's part of the process here. Things have changed for this team, and so if you're gonna make a run here in the playoffs and you want better results from this Rams team, you have to point those things out, Gilbert.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're covering both sides, and it's good to disagree. And part of me feels like like you and some of the other comments, like yeah, like they were 3-6, not a year ago. It feels like a year ago, right at the break.
Yeah.
And to get to this point and talk about playoff scenarios, and they could potentially clinch today. We'll see what the Steelers do right now. I haven't taken a look in a minute. So it could be an overall good day, a day that not a lot of people didn't expect. You did, Victor. You called the playoff appearance. I did not. Surprise, surprise for the negative person here. But it is, an exciting time. We'll see what happens here. And, let's see for the Rams. Like if if the Steelers win in Seattle and the Rams clinch, you might have an opportunity to not to wrench, but to rest your starters. That makes all the difference in the world. Like I keep seeing a bunch of games where the team that has the most rest tends to win the game. So, like I was just thinking about earlier, where the Saints got 10 days rest, going to Tampa Bay and smack the Buccaneers. I'm like, who the heck saw that? So, if you're in a scenario where you clinch today and maybe you get to rest your people for maybe a half, it's all great and gravy, and you never know what happens in Detroit. And again, I should always remind myself, upsets happen. We just saw the Cardinals lose, things like that. So, but I just like to harp on the little things here, and like Mike said, I want to see a couple of things improve, and I really want this game to be things where I saw improvement. But the three biggest concerns, and we posed the question earlier, came up again.
Yeah, and I posted that question earlier in the week. I said, "What's your biggest concern?" And everybody kept everything that we pointed out and everything that people commented came to fruition in this game. Whether it was the blown coverage, special teams, giving up a comeback when you're up big on a team. You cannot have those kind of things, especially. And now, I mean, it kind of sets up things for the Rams. Now, we'll see what happens with this game in week 18 now, Gilbert. The 49ers they've now clinched home field advantage. Do they rest their players or do they try to keep the Rams out of the playoffs? That'll be something that we'll
Yeah.
cover for the preview, but there's a lot to get to here. We have a lot of comments, Gilbert, so let's get to them here. Alexander A says, agree with Mark. Great second half of the season. Rams escape is correct. Phew.
Yep.
Second special team return for touchdown mix kicks. We need four full quarters. Fourth quarter comeback against the Rams is a comment the last few games. Mark is back here. We weren't the only good team to struggle to Saints, Cardinals. Wow. Yep. I mean, like I said, you just win and move on. That's all. Turnover. Mike Malik. Turnovers in the playoffs will kill you.
Love the
Johnny G, our
balance
guy.
there.
Witherspoon has been playing like a bum, just like DK. Yep, Darian Kendrick, and I'll get to that because he missed two. He had that was his worst game of the season, Gilbert. He had two. He gave up that 80-yard touchdown to Darius Slayton, and then
Yeah.
he gave up another big one as well. So there's a lot there. Raven destroy the Dolphins as well from, and then the
Yeah.
worm
That's
Bacon
not a
Gill.
surprise
You
to
guys
me,
speak
by
the
the way.
truth and tell it like it is. No paja. That's why we tune in. There you go. So no, we
Shout out
don't.
to Worm.
Yeah, and then just the worm puro.
Johnny G,
um,
man. He
Johnny
likes to go
G.
over the line a little bit, but we like
Yeah,
Johnny G.
yeah, we like that. We love the comments. Continue to send. Yeah. So just to get back to what we were talking about, Gilbert, in terms of and going back to that comment. I was looking at here because I had something on, yeah, Kilo Witherspoon's bad day. He not only gave up that big catch to Darius Slayton, he also gave up a big catch to Jalen Hyatt. So there is some concerns with the secondary. They sat Darion Kendrick as well. We haven't seen as much of him, but that's that teams they're gonna find your weaknesses and they're gonna exploit them. That's why they're these coaches get paid billions of millions of dollars, Gilbert, and they're starting to get exploited here late in the season.
Yeah, and again, now we're kind of trying to jump here. The biggest thing I'll say is to be positive. They won the freaking game, and they're in a pretty spot to clinch a playoff spot, and again to maybe rest people next week. So I'm already thinking ahead. Like I'm thinking maybe they play either going to be the 7 or the 6 seed. You could maybe play the Cowboys actually because the freaking Cardinals beat the Eagles. What are the Eagles doing? The Eagles look terrible. I'll just say that right now. But you can maybe play the Cowboys 2 versus 7. It could be even maybe Lions 2 versus 7 or Lions 3 and against the Rams 6. So 3-6 matchup there. So these teams are explosive. Those two teams right there, or even the three teams if you want to count the Eagles, let's see they have a chance. But AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jameer Gibbs, like these are all teams that go off and be explosive. So that's very concerning for this Rams defense, which I give it a lot of credit to. That's probably one of my one positives here. That they've been lacking talent. They're a little underrated, but they're making it work. And lately, there's been too many passes down the field. Like you can't give up a bomb like that. And it's also very concerning that special teams allow another return touchdown. Like you can't be doing that on the regular. I know it hasn't been, back-to-back weeks, but the Ravens game wasn't that long ago. So you got to clean that up, and you got to make your field goals too. So it's the downside here is like you probably won't get to clean that up next week because the 49ers are gonna rest. I feel like their starters when you have the number 1 seed, don't pull up Brandon Staley and get Mike Williams hurt. So you probably you're gonna bench everybody, keep them rested and healthy. So we won't know. But again, I'm not gonna doubt this coaching staff, Sean McVay, to have a nice game plan in the playoffs. But that's the beauty. We're talking about that like it's gonna most likely happen because they won the freaking game.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to take care of business. That's all you can really do at the end of the day. I mean, like, to Johnny G's comment, God is a ransom after that New York Giants missed field goal. We also have Gilbert Dixon here back. The silver lining is the Rams executed horribly and still won. Yeah, I mean, that's, at the end of the day, as it says, as the worm. Yep, at the end of the day, a W is a W. And then he says, weird how many big plays they gave up today. It's just, I mean, there's nothing more you can say about that. We've laid out things, Gilbert, in terms of our concerns, and Ram fans are agreeing with that. So, I mean, as we get close, we one more game, 9-7, as we said. You get to 10-7, and then either that or do you try and decide whether who do you want to match up? I think you just try to win the game, and you let everything else. You worry about everything else. You're just happy to be in the playoffs, and then you get ready for what you how you match up against those teams, whether it's the Lions or the Cowboys, as we sit here right now, Gilbert. So um, just give me your just. I know you kind of went over some of your final thoughts there, but in terms of what what the biggest thing is, as leave here, as we leave here and we end this show, just for Ram
Yeah.
fans.
Well, it's a tough game to kind of break down because it's the same old for the last few weeks on the negative side. But on the positive side, they've done everything they need to do is to win the game and to be in a scenario where they could probably go in next week and clinch. And who knows what happens right now? We really don't know. I think it's 14-10 right now,
Yeah,
Seahawks. But
14-10. Let's I check.
say the Seahawks win and you have to wait another week, or I don't know. I doubt the Packers and the Vikings are going to end in a tie for Sunday Night Football. You never know; it could happen too. But you know, the scenario where the 49ers clinch does help out too. It makes you feel okay at ease. They're going to be they're going to bench their starters. Not I shouldn't say bench, but rest their starters and play all the backups, and it should be fine. And maybe that's kind of a blessing in disguise because you're still, you're still trying to win the game, so you avoid that rust factor. We're like, okay, well, you haven't played in 2 weeks. What are you gonna do here? So that's why coaches sometimes play their starters because they want to avoid the rust, and they maybe Shannon can play with their starters for like a quarter or two. I don't know, but I think rest is more important. But maybe they have to win the game. That's fine too. It's going to be against the number twos of the 49ers. And then you're in a groove, you're rolling, and you give yourself one more week to fix things. If not, you get to rest people, and it's a lot of unknown for the playoffs. That's fine too. You get to rest your people. So I think it looks ugly, and that's where I end. They're in a good spot overall. Whichever scenario you want to look at it, I think they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, and I'm with you there, Gilbert. Honestly, like I mean, the way you laid it out, and it makes a lot of sense. And now you get ready. I mean, the Rams weren't supposed to be in this position. Now they are, and at least you. Oh, there we go. The worm just sent it. Thanks for that.
Look
That's
at that!
pretty
What a
cool.
way to end 2023. Shout out! Yeah, we're definitely gonna get some beers with that money. Thank you, the worm,
Yeah,
or go to the Super Bowl Raider Row
yeah. There we
fun there.
go.
That's more important. But shout out to
Yeah,
you, the worm. That's awesome. That really makes
yeah.
my year too.
Yeah, there we go. Gilbert Dixon, the Cowboys played out of their minds and got lucky. When Philly choked, the NFC's up for grabs, and I'm with that. I mean, once you get into the dance, that's all that matters,
That's
Gilbert. Eh,
actually a bigger picture positivity that I won't deny. Actually, I think that's actually a good thing. Yeah, keep you
yeah.
open.
So that sets us up. Who gets our 12 pack of the year? I mean, it
Well,
seems
we
that
do
Worm
because the
gave it to me.
worm
I know the
paid our
Worm.
tab.
Thanks to the Worm, we get. We bet who would you give it
Pacifico too.
to?
I like it. I'm a Modelo guy,
Yeah,
but Pacifico is a high number two for me too.
yeah, and Mike Malik. The Rams have a winning season 2023. I mean, no one saw this, so that's
I
pretty
got it
cool.
wrong, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, Gilbert. So who's our 12 pack player? Who gets your 12 pack of beer player of the game?
Oh man, this is a tough one. But you know what? I'll take one of your dudes. I don't know which one you're gonna take, one of the defensive guys, but I'll go with Kobe Turner. You know what? Let's try to help that campaign for defensive rookie of the year. It's really wide open, I think, on the defensive side. It's not like the offense where it's Puka and CJ Stroud. Uh, we're gonna have to wait for the Puka Nakua record, right? He's pretty close to it, but it'll probably come next week. And then
Yeah.
CJ Stroud played today and won, so I think he might have wrapped up the offensive rookie of the year, at least in my opinion. But you never know. But how about Kobe Turner to make a push for defensive rookie of the year? It's wide open, like the NFC. Shout out to Gil, Tokayo right there. So go get your 12 pack. You created a havoc in the trenches next to Aaron Donald was a beast. That second sack, by the way, Victor, I thought he might have grabbed the guy by the face and slapped him to the ground. Like that was a nasty sack from AD. And we don't talk about AD enough because we're just used to it. But that one was like, oh crap, that's Aaron Donald dropping dudes like that. So Kobe Turner doing a great job with AD. Go and have yourself a nice 12 pack for the game.
Yeah, and then the Worm chimed in. Crosby gets it from me.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go
Former
with
Ram.
former Ram there for a sec. He suited up, but never actually made it
That's a
into
good
the
way to
game.
help. Maybe you might get a job out of that. Hey, like
Yeah,
Sean
I
McVay in
know.
the side. Hey, go miss that real quick. I'm gonna bring you back on. We'll pay you more.
Yeah, that's a good way to go. I'm gonna go with Kyren Williams. I mean, 20 carries, 87 yards, three
I think on
touchdowns.
Ernest Jones, but yeah,
Yeah,
good one.
yeah, I tried, but I think without those three touchdowns, you don't get this win. And honestly, he's been a key. I mean, they're what 8-4 with him now. I mean, that's pretty. He's made such a big impact on this team. You can't go away from that. And
He would have won
um,
the rushing title if he stayed healthy. By the way.
yeah, he probably would have. And then I think McCaffrey left the game. I know I have
Oh,
him in a
yeah,
fantasy.
that's yeah, I
Yeah,
did see that. Yeah, that's
yeah.
unfortunate for you, by the way.
Yeah, but oh well, it's just funny. Who cares? But yeah, the Rams escaped, guys, and now they're in position to make the playoffs. Which I mean, like we said before the season, no one expected. They're one of those teams that I think are still dangerous. That can make some noise if they can fix their problems, Gilbert. And I think that's what we continue to say. If they can fix some of these issues, they'll be a dangerous team.
For
If
sure.
not, they can they at least know what they need to work fix during the off season. So there's a lot of promise here with this team, Gilbert. And so now we move on to week 18 and the San Francisco 49ers. And I mean, I just want to say a big shout out, happy New Year's to everybody. Go and enjoy, have a good time. We'll be back on Wednesday to recap preview the 49ers matchup in week 18. But just shout out to we got over 800 subscribers, Gilbert, which has been awesome to see. Just thank you so much for the support for 2023. I mean, we started this channel a year, almost 2 years ago now, Gilbert, and I mean, just to see the growth from people has been awesome. Shout out to the Worm, Mike, Johnny G, Gilbert Dixon. Who else do we have? And Mark Reber. I mean, just the support, AMS. It's been awesome to see. And so we can't wait to continue to provide more content for you guys. And as long as the Rams continue to, this push, we'll be locked in and giving you as much content as we can, Gilbert.
Yeah, I just want to go off of that. Like, thank you so much for helping us get to 800 subscribers. I was so happy to see 800 earlier today. We're 200 away from giving away a Puka Nakua jersey. That'd be cool if we get it done soon and get to 1,000 subscribers. But 800 looks pretty nice. And then seeing the Worm donating $20 to the channel here is awesome. Like we keep mentioning, we're trying to get to the Super Bowl Radio Row in Las Vegas, and that costs money for equipment, housing, just to create content in person together to get some interviews. So that's going to be really helpful. We're going to have a couple beers too with that, the Worm. So we appreciate that. And also somebody from House of Horns. I don't know if they want me to share their name. They went and got some merch. Compas on the beach. Compas on the beach. Maybe one day. Compas on the beat merch. And bought a hoodie and a shirt. So that's pretty cool. We really appreciate that. So you want a cool hoodie like this? Check out the link in the description. Certifiedcompas.shop. But I don't want to keep promoting a bunch of things here, but I just want to say thank you. I don't want to ask for too much. I just want to say thank you. And Donald, yeah, make it a Modelo. I'm a Modelo guy too, so we're on the same page there. But it's either Modelo or Pacifico. I am done with Corona. I can't. Your last name is Corona. I'm sorry, no offense,
Yeah, I
but
know.
I had that too many times when I was like 17, 18, 19,
Yeah,
and
same
or
here.
21, just to be safe.
Yeah, pick up a kicker and blow up the punt coverage. It's time to put starters on the punt team. I mean, anything that works at this point. All right, Gilbert. We're on to week 18 now, Gilbert.
Oh,
We've thanked everybody. Like we said, have a happy thanks. I mean, happy New Year's. Have fun, enjoy. But we'll see you guys for the preview on Wednesday. We'll have a live, so come back and join us. We can't wait to hear from you guys, especially I'm sure it's going to be a lot of 49er fans in the comments. So let's get ready for that.
yeah, that should be interesting. And I hate to rush out of here. It's my fault for a short show. I got to go keep an eye on these games for work. But not too many games, 23 games, and we'll see if the Steelers pull it off against Seattle. But yeah, Johnny G is not happy right now.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the Worm. Sorry, we had to change your mind, but we still appreciate all the love and support. But yeah, we'll have a longer show, over an hour probably, on Wednesday to break down Rams versus 49ers week 18. We'll figure out a little more right now in a couple hours. We'll have a full preview and we'll chat, have fun. And we'll see you next year. I hate making that joke, but it's actually real. But on that note, are we ready to go, Victor?
Yeah, I was just gonna say we can only say Happy New Year's for that
Yeah.
that day, and that's it.
All
We
right.
got to move on after that.
That would be what, January, what, 3, 4, or yeah,
Yeah.
3rd. Okay, I'll be fine. There you go, Jesse. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. But yeah, I hate to cut this short. I gotta get going, but we'll have a full show on Wednesday, and maybe by then the Rams clinch a playoff spot, and I won't be so negative. So on that note, ya nos vamos, pues, vámonos.